Desiree with Stay a While Home. In today's video, we are going to decorate some little pots to put on this shelf. Initially, I was going to pair it with a little buffet that I just refinished, but when I saw it in person, realized it was better suited as a hanging piece. So for the time being, I'm going to keep it. And it happens to match my slipcover for my couch and ottoman, so I'm not even going to paint it. I'm just going to leave it as is. And we will just decorate some smalls to put on it. This video is also part of a creative collaboration. I will be sure to put the playlist in the description box below. Please go check out the other creators' content. There should be some awesome videos in this playlist. This easy cast. It's a 2-part resin. It's super easy to use, but the most important thing to remember is measurements. It has to be exactly 1-to-1 parts or you'll end up with a mess. Ask me how I know. So I have the Birdsong Mould by IOD, and it's a little bit harder to come by, but it can still be found. The other thing is this little guy right here. Super handy little measuring device. So back to the resin, it's a 2-part thing, so you are going to want to make sure that you get exactly 1 part to 1 part. If I was smarter, I would mark how much it takes to do each one, because I have gotten a little gung-ho before and filled the whole mold even though I didn't really need all of them, and then on top of that still had leftover, so it's kind of wasteful. Let me mix this up. Go a little bit conservative because I don't want to end up with more than I need, so got it to the bottom tick mark. And then I'm going to go back in with this second part and go on up. So this doesn't smell overly strong. It's not super chemically to the point that you can't work with it inside, but I wouldn't maybe recommend being super up close to it. So anyway, I don't know if it's quite showing because it's not level, but I've got my equal parts of resin. I'm just gonna mix it really, really well. What I usually do to test it, to see if it's thoroughly mixed, is look at it and let the light come through, and that will let you see any spots that maybe aren't quite mixed as well as they should be, because like I said earlier, if you don't mix this properly, it's not going to set, and it's a mess. It's a big mess. That should be good, or it's going to be good enough. So I'm going to definitely start with my littlest one first, because that's definitely one that's going to fit the pots that I'm working with. And I always start in the biggest part of the mold and then slowly pour to get out into the more detailed spots. Okay, I'm holding this by hand, so sorry if it gets a little shaky. Once I've got all of my molds poured, I am gonna go in here and basically just pull the mix out to the designs and make sure, not the designs, I don't know if that's right, the details, let's say. It's gonna go out to the details and just basically make sure that my mold is completely full. That guy looks okay. Oh, the sun's coming out. Maybe the rain's gonna stop. Okay. So I made these yesterday and they've sat overnight, and now we are going to demold them. I'm hoping that they're still a little bit flexible so we can get them to fit the curvature of the pot. So let's see what we've got. The first color we're going to use is Hey Sailor by DIY. DIY is a clay-based, heavily pigmented formula, which I absolutely love. I shook it up off camera so it's mixed and ready to go. All that's left to do is paint. You will have to kind of push the paint down into the crevices on the molds and then make sure that you go back and catch any drips before it's dry. But if it does dry and you missed anything, you can sand it. It's no big deal. After all my careful planning and my color choices, I got home and realized I did not have any apothecary. So I am winging it with about 3 parts DIY white Swan to 1 part DIY Monet's Garden. It's pretty close, not exact, but for my purposes it'll be just fine. If I was doing a piece for a customer, I would absolutely go get the real deal in the event that they needed to touch up their piece or if they wanted to paint something to match. In that case, I do want it to be exact, but in this case, it's good enough. The final step for these pots is a coat of wax. Using a cheap chip brush, I am applying clear wax to the blue pots, and off camera I used white on the green pot. Basically, you just want to evenly apply the wax to the paint, let it sit for a few minutes, and then go back in with a clean lint-free rag and wipe it back. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. If you're interested in trying any of the products used in this video, please find and support your local IOD stockist or DIY paint retailer. And lastly, check out that playlist in the description box for some amazing creative content. Thanks for watching.